Today, an emergency walked through our door. Luffy's owner rushed in looking absolutely panicked because their curious little cat had swallowed a fishing hook. I did a quick external exam first. The hook had gone in deep enough that there was no way to remove it without putting her under. This was going to need surgery. So we asked the owner to leave Luffy with us for the day. No food, no water, while we prepared for the procedure that evening. While I was finishing the examination, the owner walked me through exactly what happened. It was a day off. The husband had woken up early to get his fishing gear ready out in the garage, loading everything into the car piece by piece. Then a neighbor knocked at the front door. He stepped out to answer it and pulled the garage door shut behind her. But in his hurry, it didn't latch all the way. Just a small gap. That was all it took. Luffy, as cats do, noticed immediately. A door that isn't quite closed is basically an open invitation. She slipped inside without making a sound. It didn't take long for her to find the tackle box sitting on the workbench. She started playing with it, and that's when everything went wrong. Now, before any surgery, fasting is non-negotiable. If a cat's stomach isn't empty when they go under anesthesia, they can vomit, and if that gets into the airway, it can be life-threatening. So we always fast first, no exceptions. Once Luffy was fully under, I carefully opened his mouth to get a proper look at the damage. And that's when I stopped. Because this wasn't a single hook. It was a treble hook, 3 barbs, all embedded at the same time. One had pierced through the upper lip, one was caught in the tongue, and the third was hooked into the lower gum. 3 points, simultaneously. The original plan was off the table. I had to rethink everything on the spot. I started by using a pair of wire cutters, the kind you'd find in a toolbox, not a surgical kit, to clip the barb that had pierced through the upper lip. The hook was simply too thick for standard medical instruments to cut through, removing the exposed tip first to reduce resistance. Then, working as gently as possible, I made small incisions at the tongue and the lower gum to free the remaining 2 barbs, minimizing damage to the surrounding tissue. It wasn't the surgery I walked in expecting to do, but it went smoothly. All 3 barbs came out clean. But getting the hook out was only half the job. The other half, just as critical, is making sure the wound is properly cleaned. Any wound needs careful attention, but a wound from a fishing hook needs even more. These hooks live in a tackle box. They are nowhere close to sterile. So I thoroughly cleaned all 3 injury sites, the lip, the tongue, and the gum, to reduce the risk of infection as much as possible. Because even a perfectly successful removal means nothing if the wound isn't cleaned properly afterward. That's when infection and abscesses can creep in. Luffy stayed with us overnight so we could monitor her and make sure she was stable. His owner came to pick her up the following morning. Accidents like this happen in a split second. The most important thing you can do is stay calm and get your pet to a vet as quickly as possible. Please don't try to remove a hook yourself. You risk cutting a blood vessel or introducing infection into the wound. If you have fishing gear, needles, thread, or anything small and sharp at home, please keep it completely out of reach, because one unguarded moment is all it takes to turn an ordinary day into an emergency. But today, Luffy is safe. She was so brave through all of it. Now, it's finally time to rest.